The gym has saved my life, and at 16, 17 years ago, going there, I didn't expect to be, you know, the world's strongest man. I went there to change, obviously, physically, but to help myself mentally, and the stuff it did for me mentally was incredible. A boy from Invergordon with autism that didn't know what he wanted to do in his life, to be able to beat these 29 other normal people, I was like, this is an amazing feeling. You know, like autism, disability, whatever you want to call it. A lot of kids just get written off, but when I had that trophy in there, I was like, this is what autism has done to me. It controlled me, but now I've turned it on the switch, and anywhere I went in the world was like, I'm the strongest man here. Like England, Scotland, anywhere, Australia, everywhere. So.
It's the best title in the world.
The Good, the Bad, and the Beast podcast with Eddie Hall.
So, I mean, what's that like growing up with 5 brothers and sisters? So you got 4...
Two brothers, 2 sisters.
2 brothers, 2 sisters, right? I'm learning things all the time.
Yes.
Okay, so, and you grew up, your mum, your dad. Talk me through them, like, you know, what did your mum and dad do when you were younger for work, and what's it like been growing up with 2 brothers, 2 sisters?
Obviously, there's a lot of us. My dad worked offshore on the oil rigs. My mum stayed at home and kind of looked after me. Obviously, having autism at a young age, it kind of threw a lot of things in the works for her. It was a learning curve from her from day one. My sisters as well, one of them kind of did working with special needs as well, so she kind of had a wee bit of incline of what was going on with me. My other sister was just like in school and stuff, and then obviously me and my wee brother were in primary school and that too. But yeah, growing up, I mean, football was my life. Like I just wanted to, as soon as I was born, I remember Luke was into football. He just put a football shirt on to me, gave me a football as soon as I could crawl, and that was the thing. And throughout the years, football, anything, every time I seen something circle, I just wanted to kick it. And I was so kind of hyper focused on that, and I was so kind of into it that I didn't really care about anything else. And then, yeah, I think it was maybe 6, 7 years old is when I started to kind of do behaviours like in shops, and like, you know, I used to get kind of, when I put my hand across shop shelves and things fell off, I used to kind of think that was like a coping thing for me. So every time I went shopping, my mum, I'd take tantrums until I was able to do things off the shelf. And, you know, it's hard for my mum, obviously, because she didn't want to take me out, but I couldn't stay at home myself because my mum was like the person I would always go to. She was the person that kind of cared for me. So, I mean, she might have thought it was embarrassing. Again, she didn't know at this time either. She thought, oh, why is Tom acting like this and all my other kids are fine? Why is he doing this in the shop? Why are other people looking at me, coming up to me and going like, what the hell's wrong with your kid? Like, is he an idiot? Is he just something wrong with him? So it's quite hard for her. But then, yeah, 9, 10 years old came, and finally my mum got a diagnosis from the kind of the professional side of things. But then it was this kind of school life and everything around that was very, very hard for myself. Obviously, Luke being older than me, I didn't really have a relationship with Luke, so I never ever kind of seen Luke much. The only time was when he came home, we played football, and he was obviously at that age that he'd go out on the drinking with his friends and stuff, so I never really was that close to him. I wasn't really close to one of my youngest sisters either. I used to really hate her. Like I made her kind of run away from home a lot of the times as well. This is kind of stuff that, you know, as a person I thought I was doing right, but I was doing wrong. But I just, for somebody it sounded bad, but I just didn't like her at all. I don't know why it was. I just didn't get on with her. We clashed a lot of the times as well. We had a lot of fights, and then it was me and my wee brother that were the closest. Obviously, he would come to football training and do football with me, and he hated every minute of it. He detested football more than anything, but he did it just to keep making me comfortable and stuff. So, you know, in school he would come out of play time with a kind of sad face, and I have to kick a ball with Tom now for the rest of the break. So met 5 or 6 friends that all like football as well, so that's all I did with them. Like after school, played football. They kind of got close to me. But then, yeah, I started getting bullied because of I was wearing hoods in school. I was kind of misbehaving in different ways. I was like not being able to focus at work, kind of all this kind of stuff. And, you know, I would get bullied. I would get called different. Like I would get called like retard, disabled, and these kind of things for me. I would then go back home and go to my mum like, and Dad, am I different because this kid's saying this? And why is my wee brother Harry able to do this stuff? Why has Luke got a job? Why is my sister's like doing good in life and I'm here just being at school, coming home and misbehaving? So it was very hard because my mum tried to get help in school, but they didn't believe her because they just thought like, Tom's just shy, Tom's just, you know, just like, they just didn't believe her because all her other kids growing up were fine in the school, so they just thought like, Tom can't be any different than him. How can he have autism and nobody else in the family do? So, yeah, I mean, and then 13, 14 was when I think the hardest part of my life was because I was transitioning to the kind of bigger schools, and like I couldn't sleep over at my friends. I remember there was one story that I was getting help with teachers to go away from my mum. So I was like attached to my mum since I was 14, 15 years old, and I did this train journey. So I was trying to do like independent travel. You know, train journey was a 5-minute train journey from Invergordon to a town called Fern, where my sister lived. And I'd never ever been on a train by myself. So I took about a year and a half to do this 5-minute journey. And I did it, and there were celebrations at the end of it. But for me, it felt like when I won World's Strongest Man, it felt like that. Like everyone was buzzing for me and stuff as well. And, you know, that's not big for anyone. But for me, it was like I had conquered the world. And I was like, well, I can do these wee things. So then I started like independent traveling and all that kind of stuff as well. And then, 13, 14 years old, I had this big meeting in school. And the thing that I kind of think killed my mum and dad off was they had to film me secretly doing all my behaviours because school didn't believe that I had these problems. So they would put secret cameras in different places of the house and film me going out. And I mean, for any mother and father, that's like, if you're not getting like, if they're getting called liars, it's a very kind of hard thing to do. So then they had to present that CD in school, and still to this day, I've never watched that CD. Myself and Luke have never watched that CD. My whole other family have. My wife has, and it traumatized them because of how bad it was. So yeah, and then they showed that the CD to them, and they were like, "Yeah, Tom's got like we need help." And that's when I still wasn't open about autism. I still had it all to me, and these group of boys that I had, because you know a lot of people were asking, he's going in and out of school. He's doing 2 classes a week. Why is he getting in and out and blah, blah, blah. And then I remember I knocked on my support teacher's door and said, I need to tell my classmates. So I stood up in front of class. Geez, it felt like the whole world was watching me. And I said to them, like, I've got autism. There's the door if you don't want to stay with me. If you want to stay with me, sit here and support me through the journey. And every single one of them stayed. And that's when I knew these are real friends. And then they understood why I would go home at like midnight instead of staying over. They understood why I couldn't do certain things. And then from that day, that 14-year-old me, like a weight lifted off my shoulder. It was like I was reborn and started my whole life again. I could enjoy being around and enjoy being autistic, actually accepting who I was as a guy instead of trying to hide that kind of, trying to hide it and put on a brave face and image. And it was a much better time for my mum and dad as well, much better time for my family. And then, fast forward to kind of 15 to 16 was again another kind of dark time in my life. I quit football. My friends had moved away. I kind of locked myself in my room like a jail cell, played Xbox, and my dad and mum would feed me food through my door. I wouldn't leave the house. I was getting talked about maybe like I was getting talked about with foster homes, going to go on this kind of thing, because there was just nothing left for me, or I was kind of like to myself, why am I here? There was nothing kind of going right in my nothing right in my life. Football was taking away the biggest thing in my life, and all my friends were taken away. So, and then it was just knocking his door at 16 years old. I remember Luke said to me that my mum had a talk with him saying, like, you need to do something for Tom. You need to take him to the gym because of how Luke's mental health. 16, I got this knock on the door, and it was him. I was like, we're not close at all. I was like, why the hell is he coming to me to say this? He said, let's go to the gym, Tom. And that's the first time he's ever said, let's do something together. So I was just like, stuff that I've quit a lot of things in my life, but let's try the gym. So 16 years old, went to the gym, had voices in my head all the time to say, quit. But I think because I had Luke there and I had my food as a supportive blanket, I just was so comfortable with it. And within the first year of the gym, like people say I overdo it when I say the gym's changed my life and saved my life, but the gym has saved my life. And at 16, 17 years ago, going there, I didn't expect to be, the world's strongest man. I went there to change, obviously, physically, but to help myself mentally. And the stuff it did for me mentally was incredible. And now I can, wear autism on wear autism on my arm, say it's a superpower, and be happy with who I am in this skin. So.
I mean, so diagnosed autism at what, 8, 9, 10?
Yeah, 9, 10 years old, yeah.
And because I had to fight tooth and nail to get diagnosis for my son. He's got dyspraxia. And definitely on the spectrum. I don't want to say he's got autism, but he's on the spectrum. But getting that diagnosed was hard. But once we got the help, like just having that diagnosis helped me understand, because almost probably like your parents were and like your school teachers were, like, what's wrong with Tom? What you don't, unless you know what's wrong, you don't know how to treat. So I guess getting that diagnosis for my son and for yourself was that turning point of like, right, how can we help this kid now flourish? And what sort of things change when you got the diagnosis? Do you remember then? What sort of things changed for you? What's autism to you? Because autism is different for everybody. As you understand it, what is autism in your case? What is your autism?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just, I think for me, I just couldn't be by myself any time of the day. Like, so, like I said, like, you know, when I got diagnosed at 10 years old, before I got it, I just was always attached to people. I just thought the hood thing and not having eye contact, I thought that was a massive part because that's what I always did. And for me, that was it. You know, there's obviously severe cases, but generally it was just, I love just to be isolated and being by myself. And for me, that was what I thought autism was, like, just like playing by myself and being locked in my room was my safe place. And that's how I kind of thought autism was before I diagnosed. And like, even when I got diagnosed at 10 years old, when my mum said, you've got autism, I was like, I'm a 10-year, like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And she had to, like, obviously touch. And then I started using those picture cards and like having to have routines and putting everything in this place, because I did that a wee bit before. But again, I was like, why are they trying to put stuff in place for me when nothing's been told? They're just guessing games. But then, like I said, when I understood it, I was like, oh, I do need to, like, if my mum and dad said 9 o'clock and there was 1 minute past 9, I would have a hissy fit. Like, if they said to me, because we used to say, like, when I get dropped off at school, don't be late, be at the gate at 3 p.m. And that helped me then, probably, like, you're going to be there at 3. If they're there at 3:05, what's happened? I would, like, phone them and 10, 11 times going, like, where the hell are you? And obviously 5 minutes late is not much. But yes, that's what I kind of understood it was back then for me, was that kind of, it was like, my autism was like isolation, who'd that was safety, no eye contact, head down all the time, that kind of stuff.
So just feeling alone
Yeah,
was a main scary point for you.
Yeah, because, you know, like, even in my house, the place that I was safe, I wanted to be alone, and all my family wanted just to be, you know, they'd have dinner together, but I'd have it in my room. And I was like, that's scary, doing that, you know, by yourself. So
Fair enough. Did you have any medication?
Never had any medication, no.
So it was all done through techniques, cards, routines.
Yeah, routine, cards, and structure for me were the 3 kind of things that really helped me from like 10, 11 years old till going through school. So,
yeah.
And no medicine. No
Okay.
medication.
And then you went to normal school with...
Yeah, normal primary school and then normal higher school as well. And I did a wee bit in college as well. So, yeah, so I did the education system, I did it through like the normal kind of situation, the normal way to do it. So,
Brill. And you say it was 16 when your brother... Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode with Mr. Tom Stoltman. We will see you soon.
love the beast. Take care.
With Eddie